My name is Beth. I am 43 years old. I live in a quiet town with my husband Roger and our daughter Amy. She is 16 years old. We have been a family for many years, but my days at home never felt easy. When I think about the past, I remember a very different time. I remember the day I met Roger at a wedding. He smiled at me in a warm way. He spoke in a soft voice. He said he would care for me. He said I would never feel alone with him. His words felt strong and simple, and I thought they were true. I was young, hopeful, and ready to build a life with him. At that time, I believed in him with my whole heart. When we first married, we did not have much. We lived in a small apartment with old chairs and a tiny kitchen. The floor made noise when we walked. The windows were old, and the air was cold in winter. Still, life felt sweet. We cooked simple meals together. We walked in the park on weekends. We sat on the sofa and watched small shows on the old TV. Roger sometimes brought me little flowers from the shop near our home. I felt grateful. I thought this was the start of a happy life. I thought we would grow older side by side. I imagined many quiet mornings and slow evenings. I imagined a home full of soft voices and warm care. Life slowly changed after Amy was born. At first the change was small, and I did not notice. Amy was a sweet baby and needed a lot of care. I woke early each day to feed her. I washed clothes, cleaned the living room, swept the floor, and cooked meals. I felt busy, but I was glad to be a mother. Roger helped a little in the beginning. He held Amy sometimes and made small jokes to make me smile. But with time, he helped less. He spent more hours sitting on the couch. He said he was tired. He said he needed rest. I thought it was normal, and I tried to stay patient. As the years passed, the home grew busier, but Roger grew still. I woke before the sun each morning to start the day. I cleaned the kitchen and packed Amy's school lunch. I checked her schoolwork and made sure she ate breakfast. I washed dishes, cleaned rooms, and did the laundry. I moved from one task to the next without stopping. Roger stayed in bed or sat on the couch with his phone. He liked reading news or watching small videos. He did not look up when I asked for help. He always said the same words in a calm voice. He said I did everything better. He said it was easier if I did it. I tried to laugh at first, but later the jokes did not feel like jokes anymore. I began to feel tired in a way I could not explain. It was not sharp pain. It was slow and steady. My body felt heavy during the day. My eyes felt tight in the morning. My hands moved because they had to move. I did not rest. I did not stop. I felt like time kept pulling me forward, and I had to follow. Roger did not see this. Amy grew older and needed help with school, clothes, friends, and projects. I helped her with all of it. I tried to smile at her because she was still young. I did not want her to feel my worry. One morning I was late for everything. The sink had many dishes. The laundry waited in a full basket. Amy could not find her school paper. She looked stressed and almost ready to cry. I walked from room to room trying to help her and clean at the same time. The house felt too small for all the things I needed to do. Roger sat on the couch with his phone in his hand. He did not look up. He did not hear Amy calling me. He did not see the work around him. I asked him softly if he could help us. He told me not to make noise. His words felt sharp, even though he said them in a low voice. That night I made pasta for dinner because I was too tired to cook anything else. I put the plates on the table and sat down. Roger looked at the food and asked why I made the same thing again. His voice was not loud, but it did not feel kind. I tried to explain that I felt tired and needed some rest, but he did not want to hear it. He spoke with firm words about being the man of the house. He did not ask how I felt. He did not say thank you for the meal. I lowered my eyes. I did not want Amy to hear us talk like this, so I stayed quiet. After that evening, I stopped asking Roger for help. I told myself it was better to avoid tension in the house. I wanted Amy to feel safe. I did not want her to worry. I continued to wake early and sleep late. Each day felt long. Sometimes I went to the store, and neighbors looked at me with soft eyes. They asked if I was all right. My mother said I looked tired. Even Roger's parents said he worked hard, but I knew he did not. He did not work at home or outside. He stayed in the house most days and rested. I tried to push away my worry, but it stayed inside my thoughts. One night, Roger made a comment that made my whole body feel weak. He said women were made for this kind of life. He said it was natural. His words did not feel real to me. They did not feel kind. They did not feel like the man I once married. I did not argue with him. I did not want another cold evening. The next morning I cooked only for myself and for Amy. I did not wash Roger's clothes. I did not clean his cups. I did not pick up his things from the floor. I did not do this to be unkind. I only wanted him to see the work I did every day. I wanted him to see the weight I carried. On the fourth day, Roger finally asked why the house looked different. He asked why things were not done. His voice did not sound angry this time. It sounded confused. I looked at him and spoke in a calm voice. I told him this was the life I lived for 20 years. I told him I never asked for much. I told him I did my best each day, even when I felt tired. Roger looked down and held my hand. He said he would try to change. His voice sounded softer than before. For a short time, he really tried. He found a small job and left the house early in the morning. He helped wash dishes. He played with Amy. He asked me how I felt. For the first time in many years, the house felt balanced. I could breathe a little. I could sit down without worrying about every little thing. I wanted to believe this new life would stay. I wanted to think we had found a better path. But even as I smiled, a quiet fear stayed with me. It was not sharp fear. It was simple fear that came from many years of being alone in the work. I watched Roger come home each day, and I tried to trust this new version of him. I wanted to trust him. I wanted to feel safe again. I did not say these thoughts out loud. I kept them quiet in my mind. I told myself to wait, to see what would happen next. Before I continue rest of the story, please like, subscribe, share, and tell me where you are listening from. Your support means a lot to me. Now let's continue. Roger's new effort continued for some weeks. Each morning he left for work with a small lunchbox in his hand. He came home early in the evening. He asked about Amy's day. He helped clear the table after dinner. He even fixed the old light in the hallway. These moments gave me a quiet hope. I felt lighter when I woke up. I cleaned the house with less worry because now someone stood beside me. Amy also felt happy. She said the house felt different. She said it felt calm. I agreed. I wanted this new life to stay. I wanted to believe it would last. For the first time in many years, I could sit on the sofa without feeling guilty. I could rest my feet for a few minutes. I could drink tea while the sun came through the window. I watched Roger laugh with Amy during a simple board game at night. I watched him try new recipes in the kitchen. He used simple steps, but he tried. His face looked lighter. His voice sounded warmer. We went for short walks again. Not every day, but sometimes. It felt like a small start, and I held on to it. Still, there was a quiet fear inside me. I did not speak about it, but it stayed with me. It came from years of carrying the home alone. It came from long mornings and long nights. It came from moments when I asked for help and did not receive any. This fear made me watch things more closely. I watched how Roger placed his shoes near the door. I watched if he helped without being asked. I watched if he stayed patient when the day was long. I wanted to trust him, but trust grows slowly. 3 months passed, and then small changes started to appear again. At first, they were easy to miss. Roger came home late one evening. He said work was busy. I believed him because it sounded normal. The next week, he came home late again. He left his used dishes on the table. He did not put away his work bag. He said he was tired. I told myself it was only one day. But the days turned into more days. Soon he stopped helping with the dishes. He stopped playing with Amy in the evening. He began to sit on the couch again for long periods of time. His eyes stayed on his phone. He did not look up when I spoke. The house started to feel the same as before. I tried to breathe and stay calm. I did not want to jump to fear too fast. I wanted to believe he would try again, but each week grew heavier than the last. One afternoon, I returned from the store with bags in my hands. I placed the food on the table and turned to call Amy. I saw Roger's shoes in the middle of the hallway. His jacket was on the sofa. His cup from the morning was still on the table. The house looked like my old life again. I felt tired and stood still for a moment. I asked Roger if he could help me put things away. He said he was busy. His voice was flat, like the past was returning one small piece at a time. Amy noticed too. One evening she came to me and asked if everything was all right. She said the home felt tense. I told her not to worry, but her eyes looked unsure. She was old enough to see the change. She remembered the long years before this short period of calm. I wished she did not have to see this again. One evening, about a year after Roger first promised to change, he came home and sat at the table without saying a word. I placed dinner in front of him. He looked at the food for a moment, then looked at me. His face had no warmth. His voice was steady and cold. He said he wanted a divorce. I felt still, like time had paused for a moment. I did not yell. I did not ask why. I only said 2 simple words, "Then go." Roger stood up and left the room. He did not take much. He only took some clothes, his phone, and his wallet. I watched him walk out the door. I listened to the quiet sound of his car driving away. Amy came to me and asked what happened. I spoke gently and told her the truth. She held my arm and stayed close to me. We sat on the sofa together for a long time. I did not cry. I was too tired to cry. I only felt a slow, steady quiet. 2 months passed, and news reached us through a friend. Roger had married a younger woman named April. Their wedding was small. People said she was calm and polite. People said Roger looked happy. I listened to the words, but they did not pull anything from me. I had spent many years giving all of my strength. I did not have space for more worry about him. My life now belonged to me and to Amy, but soon we began to hear small details. April did not wake early. She slept late most days. The kitchen stayed messy. The living room stayed untidy. Roger began to do more and more work in the house. He picked up clothes from the floor. He made breakfast. He washed dishes. He cleaned the rooms. He tried to keep the home steady, but April left many things for him to do. He came home tired and sat down with a quiet face. These small details reached us slowly, but each one felt clear. His new life did not look easy. Roger is in his new home, facing a life he once gave to me. And I am in my home, trying to build a new path with Amy by my side. Life slowly became calm after Roger left. The house felt quiet, but it was a gentle quiet, not a heavy one. I woke each morning and made breakfast for Amy. We sat together at the table and talked about school, friends, and simple plans. I washed dishes at my own pace. I cleaned the house without hurry. I did not feel watched or judged. The rooms felt open again. There was space to breathe. I felt tired at times, but it was a normal tired. It was not the long tired that came from years of doing everything alone. Amy stayed close to me during these months. She helped clean the kitchen after dinner. She folded her clothes. She asked how my day was. She showed a quiet care that warmed my mornings. She did not speak much about Roger, and I did not push her. We both needed time to understand our new life. We needed time to feel steady again. And day by day, we found a simple rhythm. Sometimes we ate dinner outside on the small porch. Sometimes we watched a short show before bed. The house did not feel perfect, but it felt safe. I also found a small job at a local shop. The hours were short, and the shop owner was kind. I stacked shelves and helped customers. My hands stayed busy, and it felt good. I liked having a reason to leave the house each day. I liked the soft chatter of people who came in to buy bread or fruit. I felt part of the town again, not hidden behind long housework. When I came home, Amy often sat at the table with her school book. The house felt peaceful in a way I had not known for many years. Meanwhile, we sometimes heard small updates about Roger's new life. A neighbor saw him at the store. A friend heard something from someone else. The details were simple, but they showed a clear picture. Roger did most of the housework. He cooked breakfast. He cleaned the kitchen. He picked up clothes from the floor. April did not help much. She liked to sleep late. She spent long hours on her phone. She left cups and plates in different rooms. Roger tried to manage everything, but he grew tired. People said he looked different. They said he stood still in the store as if his mind was far away. These small reports reached me slowly. I listened, but I did not comment. I did not feel joy or anger. I only felt calm, as if a long story had reached its natural end. One evening, after a long day at the shop, I sat on the sofa with a warm drink. Amy read a book nearby. The house felt soft and steady. I looked around and saw a life I built with care. It was not fancy. It was not loud, but it was peaceful. I thought about the many years when peace felt far away. I thought about mornings when I carried everything alone. Now those memories felt like old pictures. They did not control me anymore. Later that same week, when I was closing the shop, my phone buzzed. I did not check it until I reached home. It was a message from Roger. His name on the screen made my hands pause. The message was short. He asked how I was. He said he hoped I was doing well. I stared at the words for a long moment. Amy walked into the room and saw my face. She asked if everything was all right. I told her it was just a message from her father. She nodded and sat beside me. I did not answer the message that night. I did not know what to say, and I did not need to say anything right away. I slept well. The next morning I read the message again. It felt calm. It did not feel heavy. I placed the phone down and went to the kitchen to make breakfast. After a few hours, I wrote a simple reply. I told Roger that we were fine and that Amy was doing well in school. I did not add anything more. It felt enough. Weeks passed, and he did not send another message. I did not expect one. I did not wait for one. My days moved forward. I worked at the shop. I cooked dinner. I watched Amy grow into a strong young woman with clear thoughts and a kind heart. Sometimes she spoke about her future. She wanted to study in a nearby city. I told her I would support her. Her eyes shone with quiet excitement. I felt proud of her. One afternoon, while I swept the porch, I thought about the long road that brought me here, the years of work, the long mornings, the days when I felt unseen, and then the slow shift toward a small and steady peace. I did not carry anger. I did not want it. I only wished for a simple life with space to breathe. Roger's choices were his, and my life now was mine. As time passed, the house grew lighter. Amy laughed more. I cooked new meals on weekends. I planted a few small flowers outside the porch. They were simple and bright. They made the house feel warm. I did not know what the future would bring, but I felt ready for it. I no longer woke with worry. I no longer walked through the house with a quiet fear. My days belonged to me and to my daughter. That was enough. And so the story reached its natural end. Roger lived his new life, carrying the work he once left for me. I lived my quiet life, steady and peaceful, building each day with care. Nothing else was needed. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to English Medium Stories. Stay with us for more classic stories in easy English.